r/AskReddit, how have you cheated death? Did the man know he saved you? My mum's cat saved my life. Was sleeping on my mum's couch after a breakup. The cat got sick and the vet determined it was carbon monoxide poisoning from the front room gas fireplace. This one is amazing. Removed. What is it like to be dead? Removed. There is no such thing as a dumb reckless 3-year-old. That is just a 3-year-old. I got pushed into the other side of the highway by a 18-wheeler that suddenly merged into my lane. I still have nightmares seeing the oncoming cars. Hey, I lived your nightmare and somehow survived. Hitting a huge oncoming truck at highway speeds really sucks. PTSD is real. Don't be afraid to address it. When I was still a fetus, my mother suffered a heavy injury to her stomach, causing the death of my twin, but I survived somehow. Removed. For that day, haha. Went into the hospital because my migraines developed weird symptoms, body numbness, which caused them to do a full stroke workup. Found an aneurysm that was going to blow doing those scans. So migraine saved my life. I had a tumor removed before it progressed to colon cancer, which it likely would have done if I hadn't gone to the doctor. My cousin and I were sitting on the back of a houseboat when we were little. All the adults were inside, as adults were in the 80s. After a while we stumbled inside instead of falling asleep at the back of the boat. We had carbon monoxide poisoning. Had to be rushed to the hospital. Grandpa bought a new boat motor the next day. My bio father punched my mom in the stomach 9 weeks before I was due. A few days later she was feeling just a little off and called her doctor, who told her to go to the hospital. It turns out the placenta had ruptured and the surgeon said we both would have died that day had she just decided to sleep it off instead. One very emergency C-section later and we both made it, if not a little undercooked. I was hit by a drunk driver while I was riding my bike at 13. If I hadn't been wearing my helmet, I would have died. The helmet was cracked all the way through on the back. Safety equipment has never been a joke to me since, and all any of my nieces or nephews need to do is call me saying they need a new helmet and they'll have one. Congenital heart failure. I was a competitive swimmer growing up and misdiagnosed by many doctors for many years. I was 2 months away from my mitral valve completely closing and suffering from complete heart failure by age 9. Luckily, a cardiologist found it after a last-ditch effort to try to figure out what was going on and passing out in my last pool. Scheduled for a rush surgery, had mitral valve replaced, am alive. Thankful for cardiologists, get your heart checked. I was a C-17 loadmaster and back in 2003 we flew a mission out of Baghdad and our plane got hit by an SA-14 at about 1,200 feet. I just happened to be sitting behind the pilot in the left ACM seat and I got to stare at a giant blowtorch erupting out of the top of our number 2 engine and flowing over the wing, where the fuel tanks were full. I fully expected the wing to explode any second until we were on the ground and the fire trucks were spraying us down. 5 years ago I went tandem skydiving. After about 30 seconds the dude pulled the parachute but it wasn't opening. After pulling on the ropes a bit he got his knife and cut the chute, then pulled the second one. By the time the second one was fully inflated we were almost on the ground and landed somewhere in a field instead of the small airport we were supposed to land. They had to pick us up by car. Safe to say I'm never going skydiving again. The doctors basically told her she must stay bedridden for the rest of the pregnancy or else she would lose me too. So my grandma got her a SNES, and she just played video games all day. I still have that SNES. Horrible car accident. Car flipped a ton of times. No seat belt, flew out the window. Walked away. A bullet was an inch from my face. Damn, was it aimed at you or a stray? Remembered to put on my seat belt. Got into a bad car wreck. Survived with bumps and bruises. Seatbelt save lives. I was in the back seat of my friend's car without a seatbelt on when he got T-boned by a dude blowing a red light. Got bounced around a bit, but otherwise okay. I have worn my seatbelt in every car ride since that day in 2005. I was on a mountain trail in South Dakota. I'm not sure if we took a wrong turn or the trail just ended, but along a mountainside the rope just ended, and the next bit was very sloped and covered in fine gravel. 12-year-old me clambered across but barely, and my parents asked me to come back. Only later did I realize that the drop was many tens of feet, and a slip was very likely. This is not a climactic or crazy story, but the slow, creeping reality of death haunts me whenever I think of it. I was at a stop sign and saw a car swerve to miss another car and head straight for me. Seatbelt laws weren't a thing yet and I jumped across the center console and grabbed the passenger door handle just as he hit my car's driver's side door. I flew back across the car and into the driver's side door which had been pushed in halfway across the driver's seat. Don't know if this is cheating, but I was born dead, umbilical cord twice around my neck, and have tried suicide 3 times. Still here. Trust me, the suicide free trial is vastly different than the lifetime subscription/s. Glad you are still here. Survived a bear attack, survived being lost at sea for 4 days, on a fishing boat, RA out of gas, no land in sight, walked away from falling out of a 2-story window when I was like 4 or 5, walked away from crashing my motorcycle into a guardrail, walked away from my friend's 300Z XTT crashing those trees and splitting in half. Think that's about it. Amazing. I think you turned the damage setting off. 6 Yo, and I drowned, was pulled out of the pool and resuscitated. I firmly believe I experienced NDE similar to that of people who have described psychedelic experiences, but it was so long ago it's hard to know for sure. In any case, with those types of experiences, I think it's each to their own. I passed out while drunk/high after going to the bathroom and broke a toilet with the back of my head. Woke up in a pool of blood and ended up with 30 staples in the back of my head. I showed a doctor a picture of the bathroom scene once and he looked visibly shook. No s there I was, Afghanistan. 15 minutes till midnight. Me and another guy were standing outside on guard duty. Every 2 hours you're supposed to get in the Humvee and run the engine so the battery didn't die due to the onboard computer that was always on. 2 minutes after we get in, are doing the radio checks etc. and boom, RPG hits exactly where we were standing. I'm sure they were aiming for the Humvee. Oh, what a night. I took the gun out of my mouth. One morning my GF convinced me it was worth being late to work. / nudge, nudge, wink, wink, know what I mean govna, / An hour later when I got to my bus stop, the bus stop and the light pole behind it had been totaled by a car. The lady who had been there had been taken to hospital with multiple broken bones. I had a screening for something else and my doctor found very early stage cancer at age 34. It was removed painlessly and completely in an afternoon. It's a cancer that usually affects people over 60 and doesn't have symptoms until it's too late. If I didn't have this other screening, I likely would have died a painful death from it in 10-ish years. When the doctor first called to give me the results, he said it was divine intervention, and never gave me the results of the test I came in for. What kind of cancer was it? Removed. How the fuck did a huge truck even get on a pedestrian-only street in the first place? Aren't those roads blocked off by barricades? In 1977, while I was rushing to catch a bus, a man stopped me for change of $1 to use a payphone. I gave him change, missed my bus, and minutes later it was in a horrible highway accident. Hello everyone. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video. I really appreciate it. I just wanted to humbly ask you to subscribe to the channel. According to my statistics, 100% of my viewers in the past 28 days are not subscribed. I have always wanted this channel to reach 1,000 subscribers, and if you want to support and be a part of that, subscribe. It's free and it's an awesome way to support the channel. Thanks again, Reddit glitch out.